Hey, Brassfax here. Today I'm going to do a quick video on why 223 sucks. Why does 223 sucks? Is this some kind of NGSW early bandwagging? No. Hop and I basically made this video at the same time, but I released it to subscribe stars like easily 2 months ago or something, and then I forgot it existed, and then he released his video and I realized my video was basically redundant, so I'm going to just trim my video down, redo the audio portion, because you really don't need a 15-minute video to explain what he did in 5, so yeah, enjoy your sloppy seconds. I'll throw in extra dog footage to make it all worth your while. The short of it is, all commercial 223 loadings, with some exceptions, are significantly slower than 5.56. So much so that a case of 223 out of a 16 or 18 inch barrel will be the same speed or slower than a short barreled rifle, so 10 inch, 11 inch, 12.5, with a 5.56 round. That's right. So if you use an SBR with a hot 5.56 load, you will be faster than an 18 inch barreled AR-15 with 223. You can see the footage behind here where I test some 5.56 versus 223 loads. Note, these are all 62 grain because that's what I have. I don't need to do this as a comprehensive thing because you can look this information up online. It is fairly well understood. It's not well internalized with the shooting public because I see a lot of people at the shooting ranges, friends, so on and so forth, that shoot 223 when they actually think they're shooting 5.56 velocities, right? Because most people don't chrono their stuff. There's a second aspect to this can of worms. 223 is typically measured from a 20 to 24 inch barrel. 5.56 is measured from a shorter barrel, either 16 or 20 inch. I don't recall. The end result is that when you look at the packaging, it's quite misleading because you see the words 3,000 feet per second or 3,050 feet per second. And you're like, oh, okay, whatever, this is going the correct speeds. But the reality is, 223 is measured from a ludicrously long barrel. So when you put it in your AR-15, because, well, you're going to lose a lot of that velocity. So much so that you get these abysmal numbers I've shown previously. While 5.56 is measured from a much shorter barrel, thus you get more realistic feet per second numbers on the side of a 5.56 box. More importantly, perhaps, 5.56 also burns faster and is optimized for carbine usage. So you'll get a lot of that percentage of your velocity if you shoot out of a shorter barrel. Finally, one final aspect that makes this whole thing even worse. There are a lot of brands out there that masquerade as pretending to be 5.56, but are actually 223 in disguise. For example, this guy. It says 5.56 by 4.5 on the box. It says WM193, which probably, stands for Wolf Manufacturer or something. But it sort of implies it's a version of M193 which is a 5.56 loading. But then you actually chronos this stuff and you realize it's on the dot the exact same velocity as Wolf Gold 223. So all this really is a crimped or sealed, case version of Wolf Gold, which is 223, which has all that issues I just mentioned. There are a lot of examples of this where a box will say 5.56 on it, but in reality it's actually 223. Because 223 is cheaper to produce, most people aren't autistic enough to chrono their ammo, because if they chrono their ammo, generally they're reloading or can afford specialized ammo. There really seems to be a small subset of people that use cheap ball ammo, but then also chrono it. I don't know what that says about me. Hopefully it's something good. Probably not. But what's the takeaway here? Well, the reality is, for starters, 5.56/223, right, AR-15s, and other rifles that use this cartridge are incredibly velocity dependent. When you dip below roughly 2,400 feet per second, your round stops consistently tumbling or fragmenting depending on what you're using, which is a large vector of how 223/5.56 remains lethal. And if you're using ammo that is noticeably slower, well, you're losing a lot of your lethality. So much so that you can have a 16-inch gun that behaves like an SBR. So while 223 is always lethal, it's not like these rounds suddenly just stop being lethal, your effective window of extreme lethality is reduced. And that generally manifests as range, right? The slower you are, the less time your round spends in that critical lethal window. Now, The takeaway is probably keep buying 223 as training ammo, because let's be real, who gives a shit how fast your bullet is going when it punches a hole through paper or slaps steel or whatever, and it's way cheaper. Especially when you buy something like steel cased ammo. However, then what should you zero your gun to? Well, probably something nicer like 77 grain OTM, Zero Match King, or maybe some Federal Fusion soft points, or some Gold Dot barrier blind load. Yeah, those are really, really nice. And a lot of those actually don't even care about velocity as their vector for dumping energy. But personally for me, the reality of $1 to $2 per round is untenable. Especially since and I think a lot of other people should, have a personal goal of stockpiling their zero ammo. Not just for, end of time usage, but to insulate themselves from that round becoming unavailable or prices spiking through the roof again. Personally for me, I'd like to have all my guns zeroed to the same brand, same loading, and maybe if possible even the same lot stacked deep. And that is very difficult to do for my position in life when the rounds cost $1 to $2 per round. That is well outside my budget range. So I'm sticking with ball ammo for now, because I want to be familiar with my round and what it does at long range and how it falls and how it feels like, so on and so forth. And I'll take that with ball versus having 300 rounds of Gucci ammo that I don't dare touch because I can't afford to sell another organ to finance half a box of ammo. So, if you're in that boat, and statistically are, judging by my comment section, it'll make sense probably to take a closer look at what ammo your gun is zeroed for. Because if we're always talking about barrel length. Always talking about barrel length. My 20-inch barrel that'll vibe check your steel plates, or 11.5 or bust, gotta keep it short, or 16 inches, I need my velocity out to 300, or everything in between. It's probably all of these assumptions you've made here are based around the fact that you are shooting 5.56. So if you're shooting 2.23 and not realizing it, your 20-inch gun actually performs like a 14.5 or shorter. Your 11.5 is already below the critical velocity threshold before even leaving the barrel, and your 16-inch gun has the ballistics of a SBR. Nice. Right? So barrel length matters, but it doesn't really matter if you're not feeding it full power loads. And it's actually harder than you imagine to get full power loads if you're not buying green tip or M193. So in my opinion, pay that extra 15 cents per round, get 5.56, at least for your zero ammo, and yeah, rock on. I'm not even looking at you, it's the cell phone. Oh my goodness, you were sleeping. Hi, yes. Come here. You want pets so bad.